Hey, welcome back to the channel. Quite a while ago I made a video about web scraping and how to use Beautiful Soup to extract structured data from a website. And in the comments of this video I got quite some questions about how to scrape data from websites that use infinite scrolling. And for those of you who don't know what infinite scrolling basically means that you scroll down a website, and as long as you scroll down, new items keep popping up on this website. And maybe you've already watched my other video, try that method on a website that uses infinite scrolling, and you've probably noticed that that method doesn't work on websites that use infinite scrolling. Now in this video I'm going to show you how you can scrape data from websites that use infinite scrolling. There are quite a number of methods to scrape data from websites that use infinite scrolling. In this video I'm just going to show you the easiest one and the most pragmatic one that works on almost every website that uses infinite scrolling. Let's get right into it. And the website that we're going to scrape today is this one. So it's basically a website with an overview of fintech startups in different countries, and just navigate to fintastico.com. Then you will land on this page, and then we're going to navigate to explore, and in this case I'm going to scrape all the UK startups, but of course you can choose any other country or industry. So let's go for fintech UK, and then you will get on this web page. And as you can see, when I scroll down you will see that new items appear here. It takes a bit of time to load. And this is what we call infinite scrolling, because it basically means that if you scrape the website in the beginning like this, then you will only get these like 9 or 12 startups. So you first have to scroll all the way down in order to load the website, and once you've done that, then you're going to extract the information, and then we're going to use Beautiful Soup to fetch the different parts of this information to make it really structured. And I've already prepared a script here, so I'm going to open VS Code, and you will see that I'm using Selenium. So I've already entered the URL here. Then I use Selenium. From Selenium I import the WebDriver. So if you've worked with older versions of Selenium, then you probably know that in older versions you always had to install the WebDriver for Chrome or Firefox or any other browser. That's not needed anymore. So with the latest version of Selenium, the WebDriver is already included, and you just have to initiate it here with driver is webdriver.chrome, for example. So just make sure that you have the latest version of Selenium, because if you don't have the latest version, this script is not going to work on your computer. And then we're as well going to use pandas and BS4, a Beautiful Soup 4. So I'm going to open a terminal, and then make sure that you type pip install -- upgrade Selenium. Then we're going to type pip install pandas. We're going to use pandas to write the data to either an Excel file or a CSV file. And then we're as well going to use pip install BS4. We're going to use Beautiful Soup 4 to extract the information from this web page. So if you've installed all of these, then you can close this terminal. And now let's take a look at the script. So what you see here is that I initiate the driver. I already discussed that. Then I maximize the window. This is something that I like to do just to make sure that the robot can properly scroll to the page. And then, of course, we navigate to this specified URL. As we are using infinite scrolling, we only have to navigate to one URL. So if you've seen my other videos, we had to navigate to many URLs. Here, we just have to navigate to one. I'm creating an integer here, which is called last height. And this is the last height of the page. And I will show you what I do here. And I'm using a loop here, which is basically an infinite loop that is always iterating. And then I'm going to mention driver.execute script. I'm going to execute a JavaScript window.scroll by, and here I tell the browser to scroll down 1000 pixels. Okay. After I scroll down, I let the script sleep for 1 second. If you have a really bad internet connection, you might want to change this to 2 or maybe even 4. So just experiment with that if this script's not working. And then I'm creating a new variable, new height is equal to driver.execute script, and then return document body scroll height. So what I'm basically doing here is I'm fetching the height of the web page. Then I'm checking if the new height is equal to the last height. So if the new height is equal to the last height, let's say that the height was 1000 or let's say 10,000 pixels, And now it's again 1000 pixels. That basically means that the bot is not scrolling anymore and we have reached the end of this web page. And this is a mechanism that's going to work on 99% of the websites that use infinite scrolling. So that's why this method is so valuable. Of course, if the two are equal to each other, so if we're not scrolling anymore, then we're going to break this infinite loop. And if we have not reached the end of the page yet, then we're going to say that last height is equal to new height. And then we can do the check again and again and again. So let me just show you how this script is going to work. If you've worked with Selenium, Selenium will always open a new browser instance by default. So you will also always get a cookie pop-up and these kind of things, even if you've already clicked it away. So let's run the script. I'm going to minimize VS Code a bit here. Put it on the front. And then you will see here the last height and the new height. Sorry, the new height and the last height. And you will see that in this case, they always differ from each other because the page is getting longer and longer and longer. And at the moment they are the same, we're not scrolling anymore, okay? So I'm just gonna break the script here. And you will also see that the web page will disappear, the Chrome instance. Okay, and once we have broken this loop, so once this condition has become true, let's go back like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna define page source. So page underscore source is equal to driver.page underscore source. So here I'm saving the entire source of this web page in this variable. And this basically means, and because we are doing that after this loop, this means that we are saving the entire source at once. And just for your information, scrolling all the way down on this web page, this can take like 5 or 10 or maybe even 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this entire page source. I'm going to save it to a text file so that we can work from the text file. Because fine-tuning these kind of scripts normally takes quite a while. So what I want you to do is save it in a TXT file, and then we're going to do the fine-tuning from the TXT file so that we don't have to run the script entirely every time we test it, and we don't have to wait for every test for like 10 or 15 minutes to appear. So first of all, I'm going to click here on main.py, reveal in File Explorer, and then I'm going to copy this entire path. So copy it, and then I'm going to save it in path to file is equal to, let's paste it here. And I'm going to put an R here to show that this is a raw variable. And I'm also going to change at the end. I'm going to put here 2 backslashes like this. So just put your own path here. If you use my path, of course, it's not going to work on your computer. And then here I'm going to say f is equal to open. And the file that we want to open is equal to path to file. Use string concatenation here, source.txt. So that's where we're going to store the entire script. What we're going to do is we're going to do some writing. Encoding is equal to UTF -8, like this. f.write. Page source, and then we're also going to close this file again like this. Then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to create a mode here. So let's say mode is equal to extract. Mode is extract or scrape or is nothing. And for now, we're going to set it to scrape. So then let's say if mode is not equal to extract, I'm going to explain what I'm doing here in a second. Okay, so basically we can do 3 things with this script. So we can scrape, we can extract, or we can do both. So if you put this mode to nothing, then we're going to do both the scraping and the extraction. If you put it to scrape, then we're going to only scrape the web page, save the information in a text file, and not going to extract it. And if you change it to extract, then we will not scrape the page, but we will only extract the information from the txt file. So let's set, so if mode is not equal to extract, then we're going to scrape like this, and then we're going to store the source here, and here I'm just going to put pass just to not get any error. Okay, so let's run the script. It probably is going to take like 5 or 10 minutes to get all the data, but if you've run it once, you don't have to run it again. Okay, so let's do that. And my computer has 64 GB of RAM, but it still has some challenges opening this file. So this is basically where you see all the different items. So you see how the different items are stored here. So there is always a list, and in that list you have a link, and then you have a card image, etc., etc. What we are interested in today is we are interested in the H4, because this is basically the title of the startup. And then there is as well the description of the startup, which is in this P tag. And what I'm also interested in is, of course, this here, because this is the link to the page with more information about the startup. So those are the three variables, the three attributes that we're going to save in our Excel file. So let's go back to VS Code. And let's close this one. And then in the next step, I'm going to initiate beautiful soup. So I'm going to say soup is equal to beautiful soup. Page source features is equal to LXML. So we're using the XML extractor. And then I'm going to as well define items. Items is equal to soup.find_all. And the item that I want to find is basically the A tag, where the class is equal to card. And if you look in the txt file, then you will see that all the items are in a list. And in that list are hyperlinks, so A tags, and have the class card. And of course, if you are scraping a different website and you see, for example, that the different items are stored in a div, and the class is, for example, I'm just making this up, right, blue, then of course you use this. So this is the class, and this is the element that you're interested in. But for now, I'm just going to put it back to card, yeah. And then we're going to make a loop to loop through all the items. So for item in items, and I'm going to define item underscore out, and this is where I'm going to store all these separate attributes of one item. You'll see later what I mean. And what I also like to do is just to print item on the screen, and then exit, because this will just show one item on the screen because I exit here. And then I'm also going to make sure that I set the mode to extract, right? So, and if I run the mode in extraction, this one is not going to be triggered, but only this one is going to be triggered. And this gives me the opportunity to just iterate, run this script many times without loading the entire website. So use it in your advantage. So let's run it. And you will see here on the screen what one item looks. So the first item is called Aston. And I'm also going to check whether that's correct. And you will see indeed that the first one is Aston Corp. And then you see the picture. You will see another picture, I guess. And what we are interested in is also here. So we have the H4 with the title, and we have the P tag with the text. Okay. So this one is working as expected. So let's close it. And then let's remove the exit and the print item, because from this item we also want to extract some attributes, and we're going to store them all in item out. The first thing that I want to extract is item underscore out title, which is equal to item.find h4 text. And just for you to be aware of, so here I'm using find all. So basically this is where I'm throwing all the items, every A tag with class card in a big list. And then here, So what we are doing here we are only extracting parts of this specific item, right? So only the h4 of this item, only the p tag of this item, etc., etc. So you don't have to be afraid that you're taking the title of another startup. This is only about this specific startup. Okay, so I'm just going to try it like this. I'm going to try to write it to an Excel file just to see whether it makes sense what I've done until here. So data.append. So in this loop, I'm going to append item out to data. And again, data, that's the list that we have created here. And that's what we're going to write at the end to the Excel file or the CSV file. And then let's create a data frame. So df is equal to pd.dataframe data and df.toExcel. And here we're just going to write to, let's also make sure that we write to pad to file. startups.xlsx like this. Okay, let's see what we get. Let's just try to run it. The good news is that in general, our script is working as expected. Then I'm going to show you a bit of a different item. So in this case, we had to find the h4 in item, but because we have been looking for the a, and this is quite unique about how I built this specific script, we have to find the a not in the item, but it is the item itself. So item out, let's just call it link, is equal to item.attrs, so attributes, and we are interested in the href item. So for the h4, we are interested in the text, so what is in between the h4 tag. For the link, we are not interested in what is between the a and the closing a tag, but we are interested in the attribute href. And this is an attribute of the item itself. So it's not in the item, it is basically the item. And then we're as well going to look for the description. So item underscore out. Description is equal to item.find. And we are looking for the p tag. And we're looking for the text in the p tag. Sometimes you also have to use a class. Because there are, for example, multiple p tags, so then you do something like this. The same as well goes for the h4, but in this case there is only one p tag, so we don't have to tell Beautiful Soup that we want a specific class. This is enough. I'm just going to remove the xlsx file, so just like this. Let's run a script again. I see it's quite fast now because we only run the extraction part and not the scraping part. I will see that it has scraped both the title, the link. Of course, you can use a string concatenation to also add the first part, so the fantastico.com/fintechuk to this link. And we've also extracted the description. Now, there is something about this description. If you want to save this to a CSV file, so you see that there are dots in here, but there are also commas in this file. I can't find one of them now. Let's search for it. So here, for example, you see that there are commas in the description. So if you are storing data in a CSV file, you might want to change the comma to, for example, a semicolon, just to make sure that you are not using it as a separator. And you can do that. Let me also show this. You can do that by just changing this to, I'll just copy it to CSV. And then you can define the separator, SEP is equal to, and then you're going to say, for example, semicolon. I'm just going to try this out. Let's escape this one. Let's run the script again. And we get an error, permission denied. Of course, we still have this file open, so I have to close it. And I also have to change it to a .csv, which I forgot. CSV. And I will see that the CSV file is here, so you can open it. with Notepad, for example, I will see that everything has been saved in a CSV, but with semicolons instead of commas. Now, I also mentioned this line index 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So let's see how we can get rid of that one. This is quite easy. You just add index is equal to false. Now, if you're scraping a lot, you might experiment a bit with those parameters. So you might want to, for example, instead of 1000, you might want to increase by 3000 or maybe even 5000 pixels. And as I already mentioned, you can set this to 4 or 5 if your internet connection is really bad, just to make sure that you don't miss any data. Otherwise, just keep it on 1. And what's important that we just put a script on extract. So now we're only extracting, but just remove this, and then your script will both run the extraction and the scraping in one run. I really hope this video was valuable for you and you were able to build the script together with me. You can find the script on my website. There is a link in the description of this video where you can find the entire script, and you can just copy it to VS Code or your favorite browser. And I hope to see you in my next video.